Hello student, today I'm going to start chapter 2nd from your book Indian Economic Development. Topic is Indian economy from 1950 to 1990. This is part 1. In this chapter, when we study all the content, we are able to understand the first the goal of India's 5 year plan. Okay, so after reading this chapter, what we are able to understand, we are able to understand the goal of India's 5 year plan. Second thing, we are able to understand about the development policies in different sectors such as agriculture, industry from 1950 to 1990. Okay, so second part of this chapter is related to whatever policies adopted for development of agriculture and industry sector. Okay, the third point we are able to understand in this chapter is learn to think about merits and limitation of regulated economy. So before the 1991 we had adopted the policy of LPQ. We had adopted the policy of LPQ. Okay, license, protection and quota. This is related. Indian economy was that time like a closed economy. Okay, so what was the result of this policy LPQ? We are going to learn in this chapter. Okay, so in this way, this chapter is related to three things. First, about the economic planning. Second is about to all the policies that is adopted into agriculture sector and into industry. Third, limitation of the policies that we adopted during the 1950 to 1990. Okay student, now it is the detail of learning objective of this chapter. So here first of all we are going to learn about the introduction, then about the economic planning, then goal of 5 year plans. Within we are going to learn about the growth, modernization, self-reliance, equity. Okay, after that we are going to learn about agricultural development. In this we are going to learn about the land reforms, green revolution, debate over subsidies to agriculture, critical appraisal of agricultural development. In industrial development we are going to learn about the role of public sector in industrial development, IPR 1956, small scale industry. Okay, after that we are going to learn about the trade policy, foreign trade. In that we are going to learn about import substitution, and after all the critical appraisal of industrial development. Okay, so in this way this chapter is very important. It is having too much content in itself, and in this board one question is asked from import substitution. Okay student, and one question from this IPR, industrial policy resolution, has been asked, and from agriculture development also. So this chapter is very important from your board examination point of view. Okay student, so let me start. Introduction. After 2 years of British rule and their exploitative policies, India gained its freedom on 15 August 1947. When we gained our freedom, we become self-dependent. Okay, that time there was two tasks or two problem that the government of independent India had to face. The first is to decide the type of economic system. In 11th class you had learned about three economic system. First is capitalist economy, second is socialist economy, and third is mixed economy. So India has adopted the policy of या type of economic system of mixed economy. We had adopted mixed economy in 1948. Okay, so first problem is what? The first problem was to decide which type of economy we are going to adopt. There are three types of economy system: capitalistic economy, socialistic economy, and mixed economy. Okay, so first we are going to learn about in detail all these three, and then why we had adopted the mixed economy. Okay, the second problem that India had to face on the eve of independence was to plan for economy. What we want to convert our economy into developed economy. Which type of economy we get from Britishers? We get backward and stagnated Indian economy. And what what is our aim? Our aim is to convert this backward and stagnated economy into a developed economy. So for that we require a plan. Like you are in this year, you are in 12th class, you are going to give board examination, so you have to decide now ki what you want to achieve in your board examination. You want to achieve 70 to 80% marks, or 80 to 90% marks, or 90 plus marks. So whatever your goal, according to that you have to plan, you have to strategy, you have to make a strategy of your study. Okay, then you are able to achieve. So only deciding the goal is not sufficient in itself. According to that you have to adopt a strategy also. So same way India has decided कि we want to developed economy, we want to developed economy. So for what we require a proper planning. This planning is known as economic planning. So we adopted 5-year plan that is known as a economic planning. Okay, so this is the introduction. After the 200 years, when we get our freedom, there is no British government, there is Indian government. Okay, so independent Indian government. So that time they have to decide two things. First, which economic system we are going to adopt. The first, Jawaharlal Nehru, that time he was prime minister, so he decided to adopt mixed economy. Okay, and the second thing is how we are going to achieve the target of developed economy. We are on the eve of independent, we are backward and stagnate, we are having a backward and stagnant economy. And what is our aim? Our aim is to be developed economy. So for that we require a strategy. So the plan we adopted, that is 5-year plan, and that is known as a economic planning. Okay, so let me understand these two things in detail. Okay, so first problem is to decide which economic system we are going to adopt. So there are three economic system. Okay, first is capitalistic economy. What is capitalistic economy? A economy there is only presence of private sector. There is no public sector. Okay student, there is no public sector, there is only private sector. All the means of production are owned by the individuals, and individuals are free to take their economic decisions, and the whole economy is operated with the principle of profit maximization. So in all the decision there is one thing, profit maximization. Okay, so features, there is only existence of private ownership. Okay, all the means are operated with the aim of profit maximization, and there is no role. The role of government is confined just to maintenance of law and order and defense of the country. So the role of the government is only night watchman. Okay, they are not going to participate in the process of production. They are only for maintaining law and order and internal and external security, and there is no role in the production. Okay, so this is the feature of capitalistic economy. Only presence of private sector, there is no public sector. Government is only for maintenance of security, internal and external, maintenance of law and order. Okay, so this is the feature of capitalistic economy. And whole, there are three central problem now: what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. You had learned in 11th. Okay, so all these three central problem was solved by market force and having what? Profit maximization, having the principle of profit maximization. Okay, now what was the merit of capitalistic economy? The merit of capitalistic economy, GDP growth is going to be too much high. Okay, and what is demerit of this capitalistic economy? Ignorance of social justice, ignorance of social justice. Okay, so poor people suffer deprivation. Okay, the growth without social justice, this is the demerit of capitalistic economy. Means what to produce? Only those goods are produced that people can buy at market price. Okay, which technology is going to be adopted? Capital intensive. Why? Because it is going to be give high profit. Okay, and for whom to produce? Only for richer or affordable section. No private sector is going to be produced for the poor section. You can't see any private school that is giving education to poor people. Okay, so who give education to poor people? Government. So in capitalistic economy there is no role of government. So this is the demerit of the capitalistic economy. There is growth without social justice. Okay, now the second type of economy is socialistic economy. Both are extreme of their own type. Okay, in capitalistic economy there is only private sector. In socialistic economy there is only public sector. There is only public sector, no private sector. So this is the extreme level. Okay, here we don't find any private sector. So this is the demerit of this. Okay, so what is socialistic economy? A socialistic economy is one in which there is social ownership of means of production. Economic decisions, what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce, are taken by some central authority of the government with view to maximize social welfare. Okay, now what are the features? So there is only presence of government sector or public sector. Okay, so the means of production are collectively owned by the society as a whole, means only public sector. Okay, means of production are used in a manner such that social welfare is going to be maximized. Okay, and government is going to participate. There is a direct participation of the government in the process of production. Okay, not just maintaining law and order. And one thing, there is no private sector. Remember this. Okay, now merit. What is the merit? Merit is equality. Socialistic economy achieve equality in distribution of income. Means here we don't think about the growth pace of growth. We just, this type of economy is only related to increase in social welfare. So there is high level of social justice. Okay, what is demerit? We have to compromise with GDP growth. Means the principal demerit is that GDP growth remains slow. Okay, why? Because what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce, all these three central problem are introduced keeping in the mind social justice. So which type of goods we are going to produce? Only those that is required by the poor section. Okay, which type of technology we are going to use? Only mostly labor intensive. Why? Because it is going to generate more employment opportunity. Okay, and for whom to produce? Only for the poor section. Okay, means there is not going to be production of luxurious good, not going to produce production of capitalistic goods. Okay, that is going to be increase the growth. So there is only the production of those goods. We are going to use those techniques and only going to produce for those people, so that there will be maximum social welfare. So result is that decrease in GDP. Okay, so this is the merit of this economy. Now the third is mixed economy. Mixed, name is clear, it is mixture. Mixture of what? Mixture of socialistic economy and capitalistic economy. In socialistic economy, we find only public sector. Okay, student. And in capitalistic economy, we find only private sector. But in mixed economy, when we talk about the mixed economy, so in mixed economy there is both private plus public. So that is why it is known as a mixed economy. Okay, now what is mixed economy? So a mixed economy is one in which there is private as well as public ownership of means of production. Okay, the production decisions are governed largely by the principle of profit maximization, but not without the check the balance of social justice. In this type of economy, actually what happened, there are two things. Okay, private sector and here is public, yani government. So government work for poor and private sector work for richer or affordable section. In this way, here this work for private profit maximization and public sector work for social welfare. And in this way, this is a perfect type of economic system. So because of that, India adopted it. What are the features? Means of production are owned by both private as well as government. In the private sector, production decisions are governed by the principle of profit maximization, while in the public sector, social welfare rules the roast. Okay, yani in this mixed economy, you can find 5-star hotel, you can find schools like GD Goenka. Okay, you can find hospitals uh, like Savitri, Metro. Okay, so these are the example of private sector. On the other side, you find BRD, you find city hospital, you find Prathmik Vidyalaya, you find degree college, you find government schools. So these are for the poor section. Okay, so it's mean there is balance. Government directly participate in the production process so that it can make available all type of goods and services for the poor section. And all private sector are free. They are free to provide goods and services for the richer or affordable section. So in this way there is balance. Okay, so both private and public sector plays a significant role in the process of production. Now merit. What is the merit of this system? So it is the combination of both capitalistic as well as socialistic. So GDP growth is encouraged because private enterprise are free to focus on profit maximization. On the other hand, social justice is promoted because government sector plays higher priority on maximization of social welfare. It's mean government work for social welfare and private sector work for profit maximization. In this way, there is growth with social justice. There is growth with social justice. In capitalistic economy, there is growth without social justice. In socialistic economy, there is social justice without growth. But in mixed economy, there is growth with social justice. So this is a perfect type of economic system. Now demerit. What is demerit? So the demerit is that the government sector is often inflicted with the corruption. We find corruption and inefficiency in government sector. Okay, it may be noted that the most economics of the world are now mixed economy, where production decisions are governed largely by the market force of the demand and supply, but regulated by the way of direct and indirect intervention by the government. Because of this growth with the social justice, most of the economy in today adopting mixed economy. Okay, now the second, so India, now you are able to understand India has adopted mixed economy. Why? Because that time today still now 21% people are living under the BPL. So if there is not going to be government sector, so who is going to be production for these poor people? So that is why India is a country that is totally backward on the eve of independence. There is too much stagnation. So obviously there is requirement of direct participation of the government. Okay, so that is why India adopted the mixed economy. Capitalistic economy is always adopted by richer economy. Okay, developed economy like Britain, America, Canada. Okay, and socialistic economy, so it is not adopted by many countries. It is related to few countries, and in today phenomena there is no example of socialistic economy. Okay, but China and Soviet Rus, they are the example of this who has adopted the socialistic economy, but they also have left this socialistic economy. Okay, now second thing, what is economic planning? So we had adopted the mixed economy. Now our target is what? Our target is to gain the condition of developed economy. So for that we require planning. So we adopted the policy of 5-year plan, that is known as a economic planning, and we adopted it from where? We adopted it from Soviet Rus. Okay, remember this. So what is the meaning of economic planning? We have adopted 5-year plan. So what is known? It is known as a economic planning. So what is its standard meaning? So its standard meaning according to Planning Commission is, economic planning means utilization of countries' resources in different development activities in accordance with the natural priority. In another words, economic planning refers to a system under which a central authority like Planning Commission in India sets a set of target and specifies a set of programs and policies to achieve those targets within the specific period of time. Okay, so what is economic planning? Economic planning is a system in which Planning Commission, if you talk about the India, so Planning Commission set the target that we have to achieve in a specific period of time. Okay, now there is one thing I want to tell you, that in India the economic planning become a reality with the setting up of Planning Commission in 1950. This date is very important for 1 marks. Okay, Planning Commission is set up in 1950. Who is chairmanship? So under the chairmanship of Professor Mahan Lobis. He is known as the architecture of economic planning. Okay, now economic planning has been abolished. It is another important point. Economic planning has been abolished in January 2015 and replaced by with Niti Aayog. Now there is no economic planning after 1st January 2015. There is another organization, that is Niti Aayog. Okay, now today Niti Aayog make such policies so that we can achieve higher GDP growth. Okay, more about the plan. So what is meaning of plan? That is the in the previous slide we had learned about the meaning of economic planning. Now what is the meaning of plan? It is very important, and note down it. Plan is a document showing detailed scheme, program and studies worked in advance for fulfillment and objective. Okay, so plan is related to scheme, program or strategy. Okay, now reason for making plans. Why we require plans? So for achieving specified goals. If we want, if we, whatever we had decided to achieve, we had decided to achieve the we want to be developed economy now, so we have to achieve something like fuller utilization of resources, modernization, growth, higher GDP. So these are the plan we have to fix. So to achieve some predetermined goal with the specific time period, that is reason for having plan. Okay, now duration of each plan in India, we having the duration of each plan of 5-year plan, the concept of 5-year plan, and we borrowed from Soviet Union. Content in plan. So our plan is not only related to 5-year what we are going to achieve under the 5-year plan, but also we are what we are going to achieve after a long period of time, that is also explained, and that is known as a prospective plan. It is very important, underline it. What is prospective plan? So the long term plan, that is called prospective plan. So prospective plan means what we want to ultimately achieve, okay, with the help of these 5-year plan, that is known as a prospective plan. The plan that is related to 20 years or more than that, after that what we are going to achieve, that is related to prospective plan. Okay, now there are two things. Planning is also all two types. Okay, first is directive planning and second is comprehensive planning. What is directive planning? Its name clear its meaning, direction. The planning that only give only direction, that is known as a directive planning. There is not going to be any direct participation of the government, like you can see America. America having directive planning. The government is only going to tell only what you have to do, what you have not to do, do's and does. Okay, and there is not going to be any direct participation in the process of production. So that is directive planning. Okay, and comprehensive planning. Comprehensive planning in which government itself going to participate in process of production. Okay, so mostly mixed economy having comprehensive planning, and capitalistic economy is having directive planning. Okay, so what is written here? Directive planning refers to a system in which planning is introduced just to direct the forces of supply and demand, so that the system does not go wayward from the state of equilibrium. Okay, there is not going to be any direct participation of the government is only for giving direction. So in such planning there is no direct participation of the state. Second, it is more like directing the private sector with the regard to set our do's and does not. Do's and does not. Okay, now comprehensive planning, it refers to a system in which government herself participate in the process of growth and development. Okay student, and comprehensive planning is pursued in socialistic economy as well as in mixed economy like India. Okay, because India is having both private sector as well as government sector. So in today video this much only. Thank you student. In the next video we are going to talk about the long term and short term goal of 5-year plan. Okay, and after that we are going to learn about the agriculture sector, what were the plan used for the development and for the prosperity of agriculture sector. So we are going to learn about the green revolution in detail, and in industrial sector we are going to learn about the IPR, industrial policy resolution. Okay, so okay student, thank you.